Psychological safety stands as a prevailing theme throughout our selected clip. As defined by Sapra and Kumar, it revolves around the creation of an environment where individuals feel secure in sharing their imperfections without the looming fear of judgment or adverse consequences. The film illustrates this concept vividly. We witness Becky's ability to openly express herself in front of Ben. His unwavering calmness and supportive demeanor encourage her to unveil her innermost thoughts. Similarly, Jules finds herself in a situation where she feels safe enough to allow Ben deeper insight into her personal life. The significance of psychological safety becomes even more apparent when considering its real-world impact. High-trust companies, as outlined by Zach, report astounding benefits. 74% less stress, 106% more energy at work, 50% higher productivity, 13% fewer sick days, 76% more engagement, 29% more satisfaction with their lives, and a 40% reduction in burnout. This underscores the vital role it plays in fostering well-being within the workplace. Vulnerability emerges as a natural consequence of the psychological safety framework, paving its way through the central scenes of our chosen clip. Jules, a leader in the story, demonstrates vulnerability by acknowledging her mistakes in transferring Ben while also recognizing the calming influence he exerts on her and other employees. Furthermore, we witness Becky's openness in confronting her fears with Ben's support. When leaders demonstrate a willingness to share their vulnerabilities, it sets a powerful precedent within the organization. This, as highlighted by Sapra and Kumar, leads to an environment where employees and all members feel secure expressing their vulnerabilities and shortcomings, ultimately fostering a culture that encourages calculated risk. Finally, the theme of employee recognition underscores one of the defining characteristics of health organizations, as per Marino and Privado. Within our clip, we see Jules in her role as a true leader, not only acknowledging her vulnerability, but also recognizing the immense value that Ben brings to the organization. This extends to his positive influence on her and fellow employees. As outlined by Bruno Dugas, recognition transcends a mere judgment of an individual's work. It encompasses personal dedication and engagement.
Diversity in the workplace presents both positive and negative aspects. On one hand, the diverse age workforce can enhance creativity and problem-solving skills by blending experiences and perspectives. On the other hand, it may lead to intergenerational conflicts and challenges in communication. According to Smith 2020, managing age diversity effectively requires fostering an inclusive culture and that values unique contributions of all age groups, thus harnessing its potential benefits while mitigating its drawbacks. One example of how age diversity can be managed successfully is shown in the movie The Intern. The movie depicts the relationship between Jules Austin, the successful entrepreneur and founder of an online fashion company, and Ben Whittaker, a 7-year-old retired widower who becomes a senior intern at Jules' company. The movie highlights the importance of inclusivity in the recruitment process and onboarding, and Ben is welcomed and supported by his younger colleagues despite his age difference. The movie also demonstrates the benefits of having diverse skills and knowledge within a company and team. Ben shares his wisdom and experience with Jules and helps her overcome her personal and professional challenges. The impact of age diversity in workplace hinges on effective management. When an inclusive workplace culture is established, recognizing the contributions and potential of the employees from various age brackets, it becomes possible for managers to harness the benefits of age diversity while mitigating its challenges. A diverse workforce is an opportunity indeed to ensure the success of an organization.
Thank you, Aiden. I'm going to explain how does this example translate into a work context. The team work environment is used to describe the physical and psychological environment in which work is performed. There are three types of work environment: a comfortable work environment, traditional work environment, flexible work environment, remote work environment, modern work environment. This also depends, the working capabilities also depend on employee. Clip explains the situation about Becky struggling with the job. Becky trying to work hard, she is putting extra hours trying to keep up to the pace. She's not realizing that she can put her health into a huge risk, which further can cause damage to her mental and physical health. She stays stressed all the time and cannot able to handle huge workload and pressure. Becky is an emotional girl and she's not ready to accept Ben's help. High workload can cause an anxiety for the down health issues such as heart strokes. An employee should not take chances with the health. They can explain the situation to their managers and ask for the help. Managers should achieve their goals by utilizing all the resources they have got, such as human, financial, and operational. One of the primary responsibility is to maintain adequate health and safety at workplace. In this video, Joel is trying to maintain health and safety by hiring extra person, which will relieve the pressure from Becky by sharing the workload. Managers work under a lot of pressure. They have to look after their junior colleagues and offer them a helping hand in the area they are lacking behind. They also encourage the junior colleagues to perform their duty at a fast pace so that they can achieve their objective under a certain time limit. Julie is also trying to achieve the objective under a certain time limit, and she is also trying to create a strong bond with their colleagues. Creating strong bond with colleagues can create a positive work environment, and employee can able to enjoy the role and stay healthy at workplace.
The purpose of this area is to identify future behavioral differences and the impact they have on employees within the change management process. The strategy house on the left highlights the key pillars to transparent change management. Within this model, they are defined as fairness, applying consistent behaviors without bias; inclusivity, giving equal opportunities and the ability for all to flourish; and finally, transparency, giving visible feedback and outlining clear expectations. Conversations using these key principles drive positive engagement within the change management process. The polarization of Jules's behavior in the scene highlights how she approached the conversations differently, taking her time to explain her thought process, being open and vulnerable with Ben. In contrast, when talking to Becky, she was thinking on the fly, changing her mind and not being aware of the impact this change was having on one of her key employees. Ineffective change management can drive negative interactions with employees and lower organizational engagement. The graphic on the right from the CMOS group illustrates the impact of disengaged employees on US businesses and estimates this to be $500 billion annually, and that the turnover of disengaged employees is 3.6 times higher than that of engaged employees. Decreased retention and potentially leading to the loss of intellectual property is one of the key impacts that this can have. And furthermore, additional cost during hiring, onboarding, and training, and finally, the cultural impact this will have on the team. Effective change management needs to have clear and concise conversations, channeling the principles previously mentioned. A well-planned conversation showing that you are listening and responding to how your employees are feeling is crucial to overall engagement and a tool that could be deployed by Jules in the workplace. Workplace recognition fuels engagement, loyalty, productivity, and increases retention. Some of the things that workplace recognition could look like include positive reinforcement, championing best practices, and showing employees what excellence looks like. It is critical to understand that meaningful recognition is different by industry. The diagram on the left highlights 7 reasons why employee recognition matters, with the 3 I'd like to call out being talent retention, improved productivity, and improved customer service. Regardless of the exact approach used to recognize employees, it needs to be a holistic program. Employees should be encouraged to give recognition freely in ways that are authentic, equitable, and personalized to the recipient. Whilst we see Jules recognising Ben's work, dedication and experience, we also see Jules glossing over all of the similar attributes in Becky. Understanding and applying an even set of behaviours to all employees is a key part of what makes a good manager, not playing favourites and treating everyone as equals. The graphic on the right highlights that recognition programs reduce employee turnover and that the lack of recognition is the third most common reason employees leave their jobs. In how this applies to Jules' future behaviour, it is imperative that all employees know they are being given equal opportunity to grow and develop. Understanding stress management, both from an employer and an employee's perspective, and what we can do in terms of future behavioural differences is what we're looking at in this space. In the scene, we see Becky very clearly stressed and trying to mask and hide her feelings in front of Jules before she is unable to hold them in and bursts into tears in front of her colleagues. Understanding how stress can impact employees and what we can do to self-manage stress is critical, whilst having organisational tools at our disposal can also have positive impacts. Some of the key techniques for stress management include creating a work-life balance, staying organised, and raising concerns with a line manager so that you have the open dialogue available to be on top of these conversations and deal with the critical issues. From an organisation's perspective, there's several tools they can put in place to help manage stress for employees. These include making someone responsible so we can share the load and the pain points, training managers so that we've got effective management in place who can help identify these critical concerns, and finally identifying stress points. How this relates to Jules' behaviour in the scene may not be directly perceived as stress management, but the impact she has on Becky by introducing someone who can share her workload and help from an experience perspective is critical to Becky's mental health and how she'll be able to manage stress moving forward.
Managing individual behaviours is one of the most important skill sets that a manager can have. Every individual is different. They have unique needs and requirements. Managers do have a choice with their perspective when it comes to managing individual behaviours, and often a manager's perspective is influenced by their own experiences, their beliefs, their core values, and often in the organisational structure of where they work. What can an older employee offer any organisation? Often experience and wisdom is the first thing. They are a good addition to organisation wisdom capital, and they can be very adaptive through their willingness to learn new things. They often will obviously enhance an organisation's performance. And in this particular scene of the intern in the coffee shop, Jules eventually recognises Ben's experience, the wisdom that he brings, and obviously this adds value to her as a manager. This is not after Jules's initial reservations about taking Ben on. Managing qualities in employees is an important thing, but also recognising those qualities is equally important. Hard qualities are mental capacity and ability to learn new skills, whereas soft qualities such as reliability, organisational behaviour, like social skills and commitment and work ethic. In this particular scene, Jules finally recognises some of Ben's qualities, and they are actually played out when obviously Becky has a bit of a moment, a bit of a meltdown. Ben listens to her, he understands her, and he praises her for the work that she does, despite Jules not feeling that she's appreciated for the excessive amount of work that she does for Jules. Employees can often have a positive impact on managers. Experienced employees have a really positive effect on a manager, and in turn that can make the manager better. Managers' self-efficacy can be related to employment engagement, and employees who have a really strong emotional tie to their managers and feel that their opinions actually count produces a really favourable outcome that can help the manager become more effective. The success in turn can improve and build a manager's self-efficacy. And in this particular scene, Jules acknowledges that the impact that Ben has on her. Jules notes that Ben makes her feel calm and more centered, which in turn has a positive effect on her and her managerial style. So employment engagement often leads to manager self-efficacy, which obviously improves a manager's effectiveness. Managing a happy and healthy and productive workplace is very important. Mental health is a major part of any healthy workforce. Mental health is a key contributor to productivity, not only from an individual perspective, but also for the people who work around a certain individual, because this does affect productivity. In the intern scene here, Jules assigns Ben to work alongside Becky, whose mental health and general well-being is clearly affected by being so overworked and not always recognised by Jules. This change should result in a healthier workplace, which in turn will obviously produce better productivity.